here you can see a photo of one of the flatter regions located up on the plateau in the region. And you can see there, maybe in the distance, the mechanical harvester making its way through the vineyards. As I mentioned to you, Petit Chablis can be found at the top of the hills where the limestone is predominantly formed during the Portlandian period, so much younger than the Kimmeridgian soils. And the elevation here between 230 meters to 280 meters with various aspects. And typically these produce really lively wines to be drunk young and not a ton of complexity to them, driven by acid and fresh. So while the Petit Chablis tend to be grown on cooler, possibly less qualitative sites, if you will, they're usually in the outlying villages and of the appellation, right? The town of Chablis is just one of the 20 villages that make up this area. And the soils are Portlandian rather than Kimmeridgian limestone soils. That does not mean that they're all of equal quality level, right? Some of the best sites of Petit Chablis lie in the plateau right behind the slopes of the Grand Cru vineyards. So there are some, as you can see here, right? You see the town of Chablis here on the map, and then you see Fay there if you go to the right a little bit, up and to the right, and you can see that big plot right there that lies directly behind where the Grand Cru vineyard. Okay. And then you have the AOC of Chablis, and here's where you start to see Chablis for what makes Chablis so interesting and so vibrant and lovely, and that's the purity and the minerality. And I think Chablis is at its best, and it really is quite unique and magnificent. Usually the color is full and quite viscous, usually with a green gold hue to it, not unlike this picture right here. And it should always be a balance of and a combination of steeliness and richness. Some people get this gunflint, grilled nuts, crisp, but the best examples have long, complex finishes. And it should always be dry. So it's just a wine that is a combination of balance, of nerve, electricity, and vibrancy in its best examples. Here, if we look at the Chablis AOCs, we have areas planted on limestone, soils formed during the Kimmeridgian period. So we see the vineyards here concentrated on limestone, the Kimmeridgian outcroppings. And as I mentioned, it's notable for its purity, its crispness, its minerality. A lot can be talked and discussed about minerality. What impacts the minerality? One of the best explanations that I've heard over the years is that it is a form of acidity that we pick up in cooler climate wines that we attribute the descriptor minerality to. And then also that flintiness, that struck match character that a lot of people mention when they talk about Chablis. It can be debated whether that comes from the terroir of Chablis or if that comes from the winemaking process and the use of some reductive winemaking techniques. But that is a topic for another webinar and a long discussion as well. And the research there is still ongoing.